A mixture of youth and experience on both sides. It's one of the games of the summer as two of Europe's heavyweights go head-to-head here in Chicago. The sides did meet last year in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. 5 goals, with Vinny Jr. scoring late to give Real Madrid the win. But they've not met competitively since the Champions League group stage in 2010, which seems amazing given that these are two of Europe's biggest clubs and we haven't had a meeting competitively for 14 years.
Yeah, it's quite bizarre, isn't it, when you've got these two monoliths, these two giants of European football that they haven't met in 14 years, competitively that is.
The 24th time Real Madrid have been in the United States on tour, and the 5th friendly to be played between European sides at Soldier Field is underway. It's a beautiful night, decent levels of humidity, nothing too high. A good opportunity to get some match practice in the legs for both sides. And for Milan, who've already faced Manchester City, I thought in the first half of that game on Saturday at Yankee Stadium, they played at a brilliant tempo, high intensity. And I think that's something that a lot of the teams that have come to the United States are doing. We saw it last night if you watched Manchester City against Barcelona. You know there's going to be a lot of changes in the second half, so the referee's blowing his whistle here, but the managers are saying, hey, give me 45 minutes, everything you've got, and then we'll make the changes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what we hear from the crowd, I think the atmosphere is almost oozing, pervading down, if you will, onto the players. And I think also probably the more pertinent point is the fact that the managers are saying, you've got 45 minutes. Yes, there's heat, yes, there's humidity, but get out there and really press high. Let's see what you can do. And it's no surprise here that Real Madrid are doing exactly that early on.
Mistake from Filippo Terracciano in the early stages. It's not often you see a game involving Real Madrid and one team's all in white and it's not Real Madrid.
Yeah, certainly it's very strange looking down there and you see Real Madrid all in orange. I think you gave a little passing nod to Enrique as well, wearing the 16, playing up front, playing through the middle, the youngster, 18 years of age. It's all well and good him dealing with the pressure back in Brazil when playing either for the national team or for Palmeiras. Something completely different when you're playing in that Goldfish Bowl in Madrid.
Tomori alongside Tiar at the back for Milan. Small Benacer, it's crazy. Calabria tries to deliver early. The touch was vital by Jesus Vallejo. Rudiger going alongside Vallejo in the central defence. Over the head of Benacer. Hendrik is fouled. So if you think it's noisy right now, when the team, Real Madrid, arrived on the bus and it was shown on the big screen, it was deafening, the noise. They hadn't even got onto the pitch yet. This is about an hour and a half ago, and it was noisy.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I talk about. It's inevitable almost that the atmosphere transfers down onto the pitch, and we're seeing it early on here. We haven't seen much goal-mouth action, obviously. Small sample size, Mark, but it's been played at a decent tempo.
Nicely done by Mattia Liberali. Unfortunately for Milan, unable to keep possession. And it's back with Thibaut Courtois, overlooked by the Belgians. But good to see him back after the ACL in training last August. Tried to make his comeback in March and ruptured his meniscus. Fresh start, new season, and Courtois sends it on its way.
Well, it's that calming influence, isn't he, at the back? They've got it through the centre of the team, the spine of the team, if you will. Courtois, Rudiger, obviously Modric as well, experienced all through that middle of the field until you get up to Hendrik, obviously the 18-year-old, the teenager up front.
Big chance! Chukwueze denied, sloppy at the back from Real Madrid. A super save by Thibaut Courtois.
Well, it's saves like these that make it very, very hard to think of Courtois ever being overlooked.
Well, one back. It's a bright start from Milan. There's an issue for Endrick, who's just at halfway now and hobbling. That is not what you want to see 4 minutes into your first pre-season friendly. And your lad who was signed for between 35 and 60 million, depending on how well he does.
Well, what you don't do, Mark, is you don't risk a player, do you? Certainly you don't risk an 18-year-old that you've spent that much money on in your first game in pre-season. You make sure you protect him. Maybe it's just something you felt seems to be moving pretty well here in the centre of the park.
Thankfully. Chukwueze looked lively on Saturday against Manchester City. Tio for Perociano. Salamakers. Salamaker's positioning's an interesting one because a lot of the time, both last season and at the weekend, he played wide left, then he cut inside. A couple of times he swapped sides against Manchester City. He played really well. New coach for Milan, Paulo Fonseca, the 51-year-old, replacing Stefano Pioli. The early signs were good in Milan's first pre-season game. Benacer wide.
I think Fonseca's going to be kidded on, though, that it's about pre-season, is he, Mark? The point is right, though. They've made a decent fist of it early on in pre-season. But for AC Milan fans and Fonseca, of course, it's all about how do they close that gap on Inter Milan. 19-point gap in Serie A. As monumental it really is, and that gap needs to be closed, and it needs to be closed rapidly. Of course, that starts in pre-season, but then it doesn't get going until a couple of weeks' time, 2.5 weeks' time, when Serie A starts.
Benacer. Tomori. Wasn't a good ball into Benacer. That's a good ball through, though, from Calabria. And a good save from Courtois. That's the second chance that Milan has had, but it remains goalless. Against the lesser goalkeeper, Milan could be 2-0 up.
Yeah, they really could. Look, the first one was the better of the two saves, that is for certain. But they've looked a little porous defensively, have Real Madrid so far. You probably shouldn't be surprised. You've already said it, Mark. We're only 7 minutes into their pre-season.
Benacer. The offside flag up against Mattia Nasti. So let's go back to this Madrid chance that they gave up. Nicely worked. It's a comfortable save, and he did enough to make sure that it was far enough away, but it was the earlier effort from Chukwueze was probably the better one. Now, I want to take you back a couple of minutes. You saw Endrick limping. That was because of this from Tomori.
Yeah, it's just the knee. You see it, the knee of Tomori just going almost into the backside, the right hip of Endrick, maybe just the side of the thigh muscle. He'll be fine, though. It's nothing more than a contact injury, you would imagine. And he's already proven that he can run that off. But let's go back to the Courtois saves. The first one was the difficult one. The second one was made far too easy. He didn't really even need to move. Just put that long lever down, that long right hand down. It was a comfortable save.
Nicely done in midfield, away from Salamakers. Martin with the ball forward after the good work from Ceballos. Modric said he was an option, but it was a decoy. Now he picks it up.
Well, Modric is always an option, isn't he? That's the brilliant thing about him. That's the beauty of him. Sometimes he just stands still to get some distance and some space.
Van Garcia very wide on this near side. Ceballos, Rudiger. There's that run. Flag stays down for now and then goes up. Confirmation, Arda Güler was off, but what a Euros he had. He got that goal against Georgia, but his all-round game was fantastic for just 19 years old.
Yeah, he's an absolute joy to watch. Ardeguler, of course, Hendrik through the middle, the two teenagers on show. They've got 5'24" and under in this Real Madrid side. Youngsters playing as well, let's not forget, for AC Milan, Mark, 5'22" and under with two teenagers themselves. So this is a young team out here for both teams.
Pass just beyond Calabria, who's doing his best to get forward as often as possible, but it's been given away by Brahim Diaz. Loftus-Cheek for Salama. One made by Terracciano. Was the decoy in from Salamakers and beyond for a goal kick. But again, impressive ball movement from Milan, and Ancelotti not happy with Real Madrid there, especially Brahim Diaz for giving the ball away initially.
Well, that's the thing, they haven't had a decent spell of possession, have Real Madrid, with 10 minutes in, and it's been a real struggle for them to get a foothold in the game. Let's not forget though, this is their first game of pre-season. AC Milan have played Man City, they've played Rapid Vienna. They're quite used to it almost, they're used to the heat, they're used to each other as well. The gel in the cohesion it's obvious for us to see right now.
Paulo Fonseca previously at Lille. This is a big task for him. He's been in Serie A with Roma. That's what it's like. This is a step up.
It's a step up in terms of expectation levels, isn't it, Mark? That's the thing.
So Brahim Diaz providing the option out wide for the left back, Fran Garcia. Benacer, there was like a second skin, making sure there was no time whatsoever for Brahim. That's good from Vallejo. Quick ball forward. Who's Vasquez? Foul on Mario Martin. Not sure why the referee decided not to allow the quick play and the quick advantage. Nice little flick by Hendrik. Brahim looking for Hendrik, flags up. Andrew Bigelow on the far side was quick with the flag. But a great piece of intricate passing and movement.
Well, that's the word, it's the intricacy, it's magnificent from Brahim and Luka Modric, and he just couldn't quite take it in stride, could Hendrik. You see he's just strayed half a foot offside, but then the touch as well, it's just in behind him.
Salamakers up the other end, good block by Vallejo, hands were by his side, it breaks for Loftus-Cheek. How quickly Milan have got from defence to attack has been one of the things of note in the opening 12 minutes.
What's that imperative word, isn't it? Transition. They've transitioned fantastically. Salamakers on that left-hand side has done really well so far early on, less than a quarter of an hour in.
Just trying to thread the needle for Terracciano, who gets the corner. So here's the effort. Watch the arm position of Jesus Vallejo. So that is never in a million years going to be given by the letter of the law. It's not a penalty, and on we go. Once the arm is outstretched, once the silhouette of the body is not a natural position, then we get into that minutiae. We are not going there tonight. We do not wish to go there in a pre-season friendly, and by Salamakers over the head of everybody. Malik Thiaw was probably the closest, and away it goes.
Well, everybody at home is breathing a sigh of relief, Mark, that we're not getting into the grey area and the intricacies of the handball. Or
super attendance at Soldier Field for this one. There's been a lot of excitement, and you and I have been here doing the tourist thing outside, taking a look at Soldier Field and down by the harbour, and there were fans here since about 2 o'clock.
Well, we had quite a nice stroll down by the harbour, Mark, that's for certain.
Indeed. A busy day in the city. Traffic, yeah. Like the handball law, let's not go there with the Chicago traffic. It's busy. Here's Hendrik for Brahim.
Well, obviously the other good thing we don't have to get into, Mark, apart from the traffic and the handball law, is VAR either. We don't have to negotiate that.
Could have done with it last night, goal line technology. in Orlando. Erling Haaland had the ball over the line, but it wasn't spotted by the officials. Arda Güler, good strength. Keep possession. Mario Martin, Luka Modric. Space on this near side for Fran Garcia. Both Paulo Fonseca and Carlo Ancelotti right at the edge of their technical area. In fact, Fonseca's outside of his. Not that it matters, but making sure that they're heard above the din and get their instructions across. A heavy touch from Chukwueze. Ceballos. Good footwork.
Yeah, magnificent from Ceballos, just down here, twinkle toe down that touchline just below us. Great feet, manipulates the ball really well with either feet, does Ceballos.
Here he is again. He was actually linked with Milan this summer. Basically an agent with a journalist friend saying, do me a favour, stick it in the press.
Oh, so cynical, Mark, so cynical. But absolutely right.
The one note of concern is we already have a wave after 15 minutes, maybe a little bit too early. Modric with the switch. Fran Garcia. Brahim Diaz. That's why they do those rondos at training, the short, quick passing, the moving. They're making sure there's an option, then the switch of play from Arda Güler. And what a take that was. Lucas Vazquez. Good touch from Salamakers. Defended that really well. There's a lot of talented individuals on show tonight. Loftus-Cheek, though, wanting far too long. Down goes Arda Güler. Play on. Intensity level just increased a little bit here. Shot from distance is on, but right down the throat of the goalkeeper. It remains goalless after 60 minutes. And Lorenzo Torriani is called into action for the first time.
Yeah, I love the fact that there's a lot of talent down there on show, Mark, but equally there's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of players willing to work on both sides of the ball. Salamakers being one of them. We've seen him playing in the final third of the pitch for the most of this game, 16.5 minutes in, but he's not scared to come back and do the hard work, the dirty work, and help out his left back.
Don't be surprised if you might see one or two empty seats right now that in 20 minutes are filled. Getting to this stadium is not easy down by the shore of Lake Michigan. It's a bit of a clumsy challenge from Hendrick.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of frustration from the youngster. Hendrick hasn't really got into the game yet.
What are the expectations for him as far as game time is concerned? Because obviously Kylian Mbappe comes back. There's Vinny Jr., there's Rodrigo.
But he's going to be a bit part player, that's factual, I think. He may be multi-talented, he may be in the Brazil starting lineup at times, but he is only 18 years of age. This is his first season in Europe. Yes, he played in the CONMEBOL Libertadores with Palmeiras. Yes, he played in the Brasileirão for 2, if not 3 seasons with Palmeiras. But this is different. This is a different kettle of fish. It really is. And yeah, I think he's going to be very much a bit part player, at times a cut player, Mark.
It's not a bad sub to bring on in games,
exactly.
though, is it? Goodness me. Look to the bench, Ancelotti. Oh, there's Hendrick. Route one from Courtois, but not just aimless. Had a purpose for that man, Arda Güler. Just overhit. Down at the pitch a couple of hours before the game, and we've done a good job with the grass here. Good surface.
Yeah,
Field by Calabria.
Absolutely, it's a decent surface here. They're used to having soccer games here. It's the home of the Chicago Fire, of MLS fame, we can't forget. So yeah, no surprise, but it does look as though it's playing really well right now.
Chicago Fire could do with one or two of the players that we're seeing tonight right now, given their form.
They could do with about 11 of them.
Wow. Saucer of milk for table 4 for Lawrence. Here's Tomori. So central defensive pairing, we're likely to see a fair bit in Serie A. Saw it last season, Tomori and Thiaw. Of course, Matteo Gabbia, 24-year-old, also another option. Chukwueze, again, as wide as he can be, open things up. Just didn't quite get the angle for Marco Nasti, and Rudiger got enough on that to Courtois. It was a big blow at the weekend, losing Florenzi, and in the commentary of that one against Manchester City at Yankee Stadium, and the minute he went to ground, you kind of knew it's one of those that's not good and doesn't look good, and hopefully it wasn't as bad as it looked, but it was, and he's undergone an operation already for ligament damage in his knee.
Yeah, look, you don't want any injuries, do you, in pre-season, let alone one so serious, and yeah, it's a body blow, certainly, for AC Milan, that is for certain. Interesting to see what we get out of Marco Nasti, just 20 years of age. Hasn't quite got into the game yet, but he's been ably marshalled, obviously, by Antonio Rudiger.
Yeah, he got the winner, though, against Manchester City. There's a great switch. We've seen a few of them tonight, diagonals, that have worked. It's good defending. Had to be as well by Filippo Terracciano. But once again, Lucas Vazquez getting forward and causing issues. First corner of the game goes to Real Madrid.
Yeah, it's a big part of Real Madrid play, isn't it? Getting those fullbacks pushed on, whether it's Garcia down this left-hand side or Vazquez, as you say, down the right-hand side.
Arda Güler to take. Good area, and the header was by Terracciano.
Yeah, great area, great delivery, but too many bodies caught underneath the ball, nobody truly attacking the ball. Too many runners to the near post area, nobody coming round the back where the ball ended up. You just want somebody arcing around that back post, and normally you would assume that would be Antonio Rudiger.
8 years since Milan last played here. Drew 3-3 with Bayern, Soldier Field. A warm welcome back for them. World Cup venue in 1994. Chukwueze does well to keep that alive. But Modric does better. Brahim. Ceballos always on the lookout, his head's on a swivel. There's the free man, there's the pass that's on. There's Arda Güler, Lucas Vazquez, Endrick. Across comes Malik Thiaw. Corner kick. Real Madrid fans in the stadium wanted a penalty. Referee Rubiel Vazquez having none of it.
He's a little bit behind the play, is Rubiel Vazquez. It's a nice ball just slotted through into Endrick. Thiaw looks so he may just get a touch first. Slightly clumsy, don't think a penalty.
Then goes Salamakers, who was one of the markers, and there was a little push. The referee stopped play. And it's a free kick for Milan. Quarter of the way through proceedings at Soldier Field. It's goalless between AC Milan and Real Madrid. 82 degrees. Beautiful night for a game of football. Thiaw. He was the not guilty party. He was involved in the challenge on Endrick. Did nothing wrong. Doubt, even if VAR was in operation, that they'd be having a long check on that one. It'd be pretty quick to clear, you would imagine.
Yeah, it's pretty conclusive, wasn't it, the Rubiel Vazquez? It wasn't a clear and an obvious error. Clumsy, I called it, but it was no more than that. Not enough in it for it to be a penalty. It did look as though Thiaw probably just got a toe on it as well.
Loftus Cheek. Chukwueze, just enough pace to get there. Against Fran Garcia. Goes for the corner. We were right behind that, and it was bending, but he was just too close in for that bend to get on target in time.
Well, he's always going to cut in onto his left-hand side. Is Chukwueze, you know that. Nothing Garcia can do about it to stop it, though. Here's that Endrick, the penalty.
Yeah, it's a good touch.
Or lack thereof. It's a touch, isn't it? It's a touch initially. And Endrick goes to ground a little bit too easily.
What a ball that is. Wow. There's a lot of danger for Ceballos there, but he somehow Found the pass to Lucas Vazquez, who's basically playing like a right winger right now. So they're leaving themselves with just 2 at the back, Real Madrid, but it means they've got more options when they come forward, including Fran Garcia. Fullbacks extremely advanced for Los Blancos, who are playing in orange. Naranja. Rudiger for Modric. Again, Lucas Vazquez.
Well, you're right, they're leaving themselves with just 2 at the back, Real Madrid, but that is allowing the fullbacks to be pushed on.
Endrick with a touch, appeals for the handball, referee waving play on. The appeals came from Tomori. This is Fran Garcia. Such good close control from the 24-year-old.
Yeah, with the fullbacks pushed right on as well, it's really dragging back Salamanca's.
What a pass by Modric, in by Fran Garcia. And he's stuck between a rock and a hard place there, trying to control or trying to shoot first time. Salamanca's with the touch forward for Marco Nasti. And a Milan throw. This is filthy.
Well, you don't need a left foot if you can manipulate the ball with the outside of your right like that for Modric. And I don't think he got caught between 2 minds there on the edge of the penalty area. I think that was just a really poor first touch. For me, just cushion it and strike with the second. But Modric, he might be 38, Mark, but he is a joy to watch.
Thou shalt not pass, says Rudiger. On Mattia Liberali. Great footwork by the youngster. Good chance for the 17-year-old Liberali to make an impression.
Yeah, and all that happened was Rudiger made an impression on he. And that one certainly hurt for Liberali. But yeah, I like the fact that he's willing to get on the ball. 17 years of age, even younger than Endrick, of course.
This is the perfect time, isn't it? Because you've got all the experience around you, so the coaches can play the youngsters, give the teenagers an opportunity.
There really is that wonderful blend of inexperience and experience in both sides. Even more so. Not sure what the next adjective is from experience with Modric, but he has it, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't have to move a great deal, Modric, but he always finds space. And just the way he manipulates the ball with the inside and outside of his right foot, he is wonderful to watch.
Benacer with the switch for Salama. Real Madrid begin their La Liga campaign on the 18th of August in Mallorca. Milan are at home the day before to begin their Serie A campaign against Torino.
Oh boy, does it come round quickly, Mark.
Right, 2.5 weeks, and we're up and running again. Endrick is the outside of the foot pass, defended well. Otherwise, Lucas Vazquez might have been clean through on goal.
Well, for most players, it's almost no break at all, is it? Whether it's Copa America or whether it's the Euros, best players in the world play throughout the year. It's almost a 12 months of the year game.
But Pep Guardiola's comments were very interesting. He was asked when the players that were involved in both Copa America and Euro 2024 would come back. He said when they want, when they feel ready. Arda Güler. Fran Garcia. It's good defending. Had to be as well by Davide Calabria. That's a good battle, that one. All credit to Marco Nasti. It'd be easy to be intimidated by the imposing figure of Antonio Rudiger. Arda Güler. Looking for Ceballos. That's Fran Garcia in support.
It's a little struggle for Real Madrid maybe in the opening 10 minutes of the game, Mark, but they've really come back into it since then. Just as I say that, they obviously give the ball away.
How many times does that happen in broadcasting? The curse of the commentator, but it doesn't work reverse. You can't do it for your own team. It never works like that. I've tried, trust me. We approach the half hour, it's goalless, but it's been entertaining. There's been chances at either end. Courtois has been busier than Torriani. Milan come forward again. Calabria. Benacer. Switch has always been on. Slightly surprised, given the impact that he made at the weekend, that the man in possession of the ball right now, Salamakers, hasn't seen too much of it tonight.
Yeah, opening 10 minutes and no more than that. Apart from that, Salamakers has been tracking back, and majority of the time has been tracking back Vázquez, obviously. Vázquez may be 33 years of age, but he is absolutely bombing up and down that right-hand side. I think we've said it on more than one occasion, Michael. He's almost an auxiliary right winger at times.
Well, he's allowed to with the shape, because they've got 3 forwards and then 3 kind of central midfielders, so there is space for the left full-back and the right full-back to get forward. Yeah,
and Gula naturally likes to come in from that right-hand side as well. It just opens up that space down that right flank for Vázquez.
Milan players getting the bird for keeping possession from the Real Madrid supporters. And it's time for a hydration break with the temperature at 82 degrees. Players will come off and get some fluid. So half an hour gone, what are you made of what you've seen so far, Matty?
I think that AC Milan started the better of the two teams, but I would expect that considering this is their 3rd game of pre-season. I think Real Madrid looked a little bit sluggish, but I'm probably not surprised that Real Madrid have now come back into it, and for me I think they're the better team.
That was the thing I was just about to mention. Carlo Ancelotti and Endrick. He was the first player that he went to. A 65-year-old with an 18-year-old. And in the middle, a 38-year-old, Luka Modric. You speak to so many players, you read so many players in the press, from press conferences, talking about Carlo Ancelotti and how good he is as a man manager. And you see the photos when they win all the trophies of the cigar out, the European Cup aloft. You got to remember as well, he's won more Champions Leagues, European Cups, with tonight's opponents, Milan, 2 as a player, 2 as a manager, and he's won 3. So it's a special fixture for Don Carlo.
Yeah, and I think also you talk about the man management, and we can't forget that man management is almost managing youths at times. Enrique's only just turned into adulthood, only just turned into 18, so he's managing an 18-year-old alongside managing a 38-year-old in Modric. I think it takes a special character who understands what he can and can't say to players that have 2 decades between them, and you've got Enrique who's just starting to make his way in the game. You've got Modric who's absolutely won almost everything, barring the World Cup with Croatia, got very, very close obviously. So for me, that's part of it. Yes, the man management, but it's the fact that he's man managing 17, 18-year-olds all the way up through players in their late 30s, coming to almost the twilight of their career, or very much the twilight of their career in Modric's case.
From a man in Carlo Ancelotti, who's been there for a while, to, on the other side, Paulo Fonseca, who's just arrived, but he's got plenty talent in reserve. Yunus Musa and that man, Christian Pulisic. Hopefully we'll get to see him. Not ready to start games just yet. I think he got 12 minutes against Manchester City. I'm not sure they wanted to give him any minutes, but he's back home. He's a Pennsylvania boy, and here in Chicago, hopefully we get to see him for maybe 10-15 minutes at the end of this one.
I was about to say 15 to 20 minutes maximum, you would have thought. Of course, we don't know precisely what's going on with the sports scientists, of course, but yeah, you don't want to push him. You know of the injury woes and travails of the career of Christian Pulisic, but we can't forget what a good season he had last season with AC Milan. I think he needs to now step up again this season coming as well. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do with AC Milan under Fonseca.
12 goals in Serie A last season from 32 starts. Not a bad return.
Yeah.
But
great
quite
return.
rightly say it's now it's taking it to the next level. Back underway, and Salamakers gives it away. Here's Mod.
Yeah, for me the next level is consistency as well, Mark. It's all well and good doing it for one season. The best players in the world do it for 3, 4, 5 and onward seasons. Look at Modric, he's done it for the last 15, 20 seasons.
Vallejo. Could have given me probably 20 guesses as to one player that would be doing that, and Vallejo would be either guess number 21 or 22 of the 22 players on show.
He certainly looked like a ball-playing centre-half there, didn't he?
Chukwuezi's throw. Pressure from Endrick. To Mori.
You'd love to know what was being said between Ancelotti and Endrick, because he has struggled to get into the game. We're 35 minutes in, hasn't had that many touches of the ball. He had that lovely little run just inside where he was a foot offside, but he couldn't take the ball in his stride. Apart from that, we've not seen a great deal of him.
Loftus-Cheek spots Chukwuezi in acres of space, with Fran Garcia having tucked in. Garcia does really well. Raheem turns on the jets. Endrick. Brahim Diaz, that close.
Well, we just talked about Endrick getting into the game, and he pulls off nicely. It's a lovely couple of touches, and then he's unselfish and feeds Brahim Diaz. He just can't whip that right foot around the ball enough. You sense maybe if it was on the other side, he'd have really truly been able to get his left foot around it, but there, not enough spinning part, never really going to trouble the goalkeeper.
Just want to go back to Endrick for a minute. Something I've always thought about football, the more the transfer fee, the more the pressure. It doesn't make them a better player. It's not like you pay 100 million for someone, you're going to get 100 million worth of talent. Harry Maguire was an 80 million defender, and it was something that was around his neck right from the beginning. It's hard, it's pressure. The more you get paid, as far as the transfer fee is concerned, the harder it can be sometimes if you don't start well.
Well, the best players in the world have a strong mentality. And as part of that strong mentality is obviously not only playing well on the field, but it's ignoring the pressure that's going on around. It's not your fault how much money you get paid, not your fault how much money teams pay for you in terms of a transfer fee, but it's easier said than done. And Harry Maguire struggled with it. It wasn't just the fee though, it was the fact that he was going to a bigger football club, and that's exactly the same as what Endrick's doing here. He's gone from Palmeiras, yes, a massive club, 2 times Copa Libertadores winners in the last few years, but it absolutely pales into insignificance compared to Real Madrid. He is living inside a goldfish bowl in Madrid. How does he deal with it? And we'll see.
Couple of trips to the Plaza de Cibeles last season for Real Madrid, the title and the European Cup. Number 15. Will there be more this season? Rudiger. What skills does Vallejo have for us here? Reminiscent of you in your prime. Did you try that in the FA Cup final in 04 against Man United?
It would be nicer, but I've seen the ball in the FA Cup final against Manchester United, that's for certain. I think I did a kick-off, that was about it.
20 years ago, where's the time
Thank you very much,
You're welcome.
Thanks so much.
And now you're with me. Where did it all go wrong? Tomori for Calabria, and Milan can build from the back.
Well, it started with the kick-off, and then it went downhill from there.
In your FA Cup final. Tiao. Loftus-Cheek. Both sides have named 12 subs. Yay, says the commentator. It's pre-season, it's what you do. It's an opportunity to get game time in the legs with those who've started a well-earned rest. That's a good touch. Had to be as well by Tomori, because Goulart and Endrick were ready to pounce. From Salamakers, taking on Lucas Vazquez, back defending now. It's a decent first touch, might have been offside. Marco nasty, and was indeed. It wasn't his fault, he was just in that area. He benefited from the loose touch.
Yeah, the flag was delayed a little bit, and it certainly looked as though it was the correct decision from the man just below us. The game's lulled a little bit.
It has.
Since the hydration break, we should expect it. You talked at the beginning of the game, Mark, about both managers asking for a solid 45, and then there'll be changes. You would assume that will happen here.
I think there's been positives and negatives for both
Absolutely.
coaches. Well, that for a switch from Mario Martin. Well defended though. And Filippo Terracciano. Interesting there that Mario Martin went for the header. I wondered if he might have got a call from Rudiger just to leave that one. Rudiger was behind him. But no harm, no foul. And Vallejo back to Courtois. He was busy in the early stages. If you're just joining us, a couple of saves inside 7 minutes from Thibaut Courtois. It's just great to see him back after his injury issues last season. And that's a great delivery of the football for Lucas Vázquez, who wants it back and gets it back from Arda Güler.
This is just born of frustration for Enrique. Hasn't seen a lot of the ball. Tracking back is never going to get anywhere near that. A bit of a wild slash with the left leg.
5 minutes of normal time remaining, but there was a 3-minute hydration break. Battle between Chukwueze and Rudiger. So, give me one player, if you wouldn't mind, from either side that stood out for you in this first half.
I think Ceballos did for the first 20-25 minutes. I don't think anybody has truly stood out for the whole 41 minutes we've had. I think Ceballos got into the game very nicely after that little bit of a lull period for Real Madrid, and he was really pulling the string. Since then, not so much.
While you're thinking about the Milan player, here's Fran Garcia. Immediate apology from Arda Güler. Poor pass, he knows it, but they've won it back through Fran Garcia. Güler's movement for a youngster is exceptional. It's not all about getting the ball all the time. He never stops moving. Lucas Vázquez against Terracciano. Brahim, all dressed up with nowhere to go. Because of the good work defensively by Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Rudiger gets beyond Calabria. Just couldn't quite get enough purchase. German defender receiving the acclaim of the large crowd, of which the majority wearing the uniforms of Los Blancos. Tomori. Calabria.
Well, I gave my player for Real Madrid, Mark. I think Chukwueze really is the only one that's flourished at all in the first half for AC Milan over a significant period. I just love how dynamic and direct he is when he gets on the ball. I've only seen it once or twice with the ability to go at Fran Garcia, but I think the majority of that has been down to the fact that Real Madrid have been dominating the possession in probably the last 20-30 minutes.
Yeah, without really having an end product.
Yes.
Benacer. Runs made by Terracciano and by Salamakers, but just too much.
Well, and here was that lovely little 1-2 between Rudiger and Enrique. But then I want to see Enrique go again. He plays that 1-2, but then I want to see him darting for that near post if he can. he stops, he almost admires the 1-2. I want to see him then going again. If he can get across the face of the goalkeeper, he sees that Rudiger is struggling to really pull the ball back to him.
It's actually a smart foul to give away, because Dani Ceballos was in acres down this left-hand side, awaiting the pass, which never came because of the foul. Free kick Real Madrid. He was aware, you saw the little look there, he knew exactly where his teammate was. Smart foul by Liberali. You can get away with those without getting a yellow card. It's a little small victory. Arda Güler playing a high line Milan here. They're all over the place. 2 went back, 2 stayed forward. Endrick. Well read by Salamakers. Chukwueze. Just noticing a little bit increasing tempo in the last couple of minutes of this one. The game had a lull, had a bit of a break. And it's picked up again with Salamakers. Chukwueze to his right. Across comes Rudiger, but it was actually the run of Chukwueze that took Fran Garcia with him that allowed the space to run into. Okay, so we had a 3-minute cooling break for hydration, and now there's 1 added minute at the end of the half. 3-1. Let's not go there.
Just another of those grey areas, I think.
Oh yes.
Mathematics, the rule of the handball law, traffic in Chicago.
Yeah, don't call it rules. Oh,
no,
they don't like. Oh, it's laws of the game, not rules of the game.
Laws of the game, very well.
Final 60 seconds or so. There will be time for Milan to take this one. I think I said in commentary last night that the goal at the end of the first half was scored in added time on top of added time. But remember, it is a minimum of 1 added minute. Nothing to lose here. Get it in the box, see what you can do. You've got Tomori. You've got Tial. You've got Loftus-Cheek. Big boys in there. Nasty's trying to get clear as well. It's Chukwueze at the back post. If this goes long, there's a lot of options here. It does go long for Chukwueze. Head down just has too much, but if that acrobatic effort had made contact, that would have been something special. As the ball is thumped into the night sky by Thibaut Courtois, the referee Rubiel Vasquez blows the whistle for half-time. No goals, but it's been entertaining enough, and we've seen Endrick for the first time as Paulo Fonseca's Milan are 0-0 at the break with Real Madrid.
Mark, but I think we knew this would happen for Real Madrid. This is a team in their first pre-season, first 45 minutes underway. We saw the likes of Endrick. We knew that he'd be coming off. He didn't do the rigorous warm down. We saw Arda Güler, Luka Modric, Antonio Rudiger. They were doing the box-to-boxes. They probably did 8 to 10 box-to-box runs. That's the top of the 18-yard box one end to the top of the 18-yard box the other end, Mark. And it was rigorous, it was vigorous, and they certainly got put through their paces by the fitness coach.
Keep going.
A vast sweeping monologue carries on.
Another 20 minutes, don't you worry. We await the whistle for the second half. So lots of changes for Real Madrid. Milan, they made their changes after around an hour of the game at Yankee Stadium. Obviously, Florenzi had to go off, sadly, with knee ligament damage. He was replaced by Tommaso Pobega at Yankee Stadium. We are underway for the second half, and immediately it is thumped upfield. We have Raul Asensio playing at centre-back. Lucas Vasquez stayed on. Once all the changes have been processed, we'll give you a rundown of the confirmed second half lineup for Real Madrid. For Milan, Torriani in goal, Calabria, Thiaw, Tomori and Terracciano, Benacer and Loftus-Cheek, Chukwueze, Liberali, Salamakers and Marco Nasti. Here is tall, imposing figure of Juan Martinez. 16 years old. Big lad at the back.
Yeah, Martinez, when you look at him facially, he does look 16 years of age, but when you look down and you look at body shape, he's a tall man, that's for certain. It'll be interesting to see how they do. Of course, for Martinez is alongside the very experienced Lucas Vázquez. That will help him. Vázquez will talk him through the game. Right now, he's almost got Dani Ceballos playing as an auxiliary right back alongside him, with Vázquez pushing a little higher up.
Lataza wants the free kick, doesn't get it.
A real surprise that the game has started a little bit sluggishly, just a couple of minutes in. Real Madrid team completely changed. Half of the outfield has changed. Lots of Dani Ceballos, the two fullbacks, two of the players remaining. I mean, this is where you'd expect almost AC Milan to move up through the gears here, playing against an inexperienced team, a team who's only just almost been put together a few minutes ago. I know it won't be quite like that. They haven't totally been cobbled together. They've all known exactly what was going on.
Same shape though for Real Madrid. Juan Lataza leading the line. Lopez out wide. Brahim Diaz on the other side. Tio. Get that touch right, Lucas Vázquez did.
It's not only the players trying to get back into this second half, it's the fans as well. It's certainly a little bit quieter in this second half than it was the first.
Nico pass. So I'm pretty optimistic that this is the lineup right now for Real Madrid. Are you ready, Matty Lawrence?
Always ready, Mark.
Andre Lunin in goal, Lucas Vázquez, Juan Martinez, Raúl Asensio and Fran Garcia, Cesar Palacios, Mario Martin and Dani Ceballos, Nico Paz, Juan Lataza and Brahim Diaz.
You've got it just about spot on, Mark. It's almost as though you're a professional.
Always like I've done 100 changes in 4 pre-season games so far. We've got high hopes for this young man, Juan Martinez. We've spoken about him, the 16-year-old. People always want to compare talented youngsters to, oh, it could be the next X, Y, or Z. He's been likened to Sergio Ramos. Is that because of the long hair, or is that more the way he plays football? We'll see. He was at the beginning of his career. Play stop for the challenge on Palacios.
I think that's probably the first bad challenge we've seen. That was pretty rugged from Thiaw. Doesn't appear to be too bothered himself, hasn't troubled himself to go over and pick up the youngster.
So after all those changes, I've got a notepad that looks like someone's been to check on the development of their new house, and they've basically said no to everything, and it's been penciled out and replaced by other things. But on the whole, for pre-season, there's a reason that so many of these top teams across Europe are coming to the United States. They know they get fantastic facilities. They know they get a wonderful turnout from the supporters. I mean, the Real Madrid fans in attendance this evening There's hardly a spare seat to be had. And it's interesting now, I said after maybe 5 minutes or so, yeah, there's 1 or 2 empty seats, but it wouldn't surprise me if they filled up due to the traffic. It's been awful around this stadium. And now, very few, if any, empty seats I can see from the commentary position. So these teams love coming to the United States because they know what they get.
Yeah, absolutely. And you could see it before the game. A lot of the players, of course, as they should, are willing to go over and shake hands with the kids who are in the first row. You saw Luka Modric as he came off at half-time after doing his warm-down, handed over a shirt as well. It's a PR exercise. It's certainly economically wonderful for these teams as well. But yeah, you're right. The facilities they have, the fact they get to play here at Soldier Field in front of a packed house. Who wouldn't want to do that?
Yeah. And the NFL season around the corner, they can settle down after a La Liga game or a Serie A game and remind themselves during the summer that they played there. And they watched the game there if anyone's travelled from Spain or Italy to Chicago. So the sub's been subbed. Hopefully it's not too serious for Cesar Palacios. He's been replaced by Alvaro Rodriguez, Uruguay, signed from Girona 4 years ago.
Yeah, it was certainly hurt for Cesar Palacios. That's for certain. Not only does the challenge hurt, but it hurts having to go off after 7 minutes. It's a real shame for him. But you're right. The only point that really matters is you hope that it's not serious.
And straight away, Alvaro Rodriguez has gone right through the middle, so Juanmi Lataza will play just off him.
See just below us as well. Palacios is walking off, but under his own steam, Mark. He looks as though he's okay.
Yeah, you don't take any chances. We saw it with Liverpool, if you watched that game against Betis in Pittsburgh. Curtis Jones took a dull one. Just take no chances. Microphone might need to be replaced on the far side. There he is. Hopefully he's okay, but yeah, always a good sign when you can walk off on your own steam. There's no point in keeping him on. We'll see a lot more, hopefully, of that young man. But will we see a goal? Brahim. Shoot was the cry from the crowd for Lucas Vazquez, but this didn't really work for him. Lunges into the challenge. That'll be a Milan ball.
Yeah, unusual for Vazquez there as well, to be unaware of what was going on around him. Salamanca's had to track a full 20 yards back and just nick the ball off his toe. Vazquez normally very aware, plays with a head on a swivel. Didn't get any communication either, didn't get a shout. Really wanted to just get the ball out of his feet with the first touch and have a pop.
So on those Classico highlights that we showed you at half-time, he got that second goal in the 3-2 win back in April against Barcelona, and he does have the chance to get forward. He loves to do so, but he's got to get back here as Milan have the opportunity. Through Chukwueze to open the scoring. Deadlock broken. 55th minute. A quiet night so far for Chukwueze has just come to life. And Andre Lunin is beaten. 1-0.
Look, it's a poor goal to give away. But it should be expected almost with all of the substitutions, with all of the changes. And Chukwueze is all alone, there's nobody there at all. And he just places it into that near post area. Give some credit to Liberali though. Perfect weight of pass, you always talk about that. Weight of pass, pass appreciation. And Chukwueze appreciates it. And he just nestles the ball into the back of the net. But you've got to question Lunin's positioning. He opens a huge space at that near post, and Chukwueze says thank you very much and finishes with a bomb.
You said it just after half-time. You wondered if those changes for Real Madrid and significantly altering the average age down the way of the lineup that they have for the second half might play into Milan's hands, especially with no changes from the first half. But it was the youngster Liberali, as you quite rightly mentioned, with a brilliantly weighted pass for Chukwueze, who did the rest. Milan lead.
Yeah, all about the giving the ball away in an important area of the pitch. You give the ball away in that middle third of the pitch. Fran Garcia is coming up the pitch. He's assuming you're going to retain possession as a side, Madrid. But because he's up there, there's that huge gulf, there's that huge gap for Chukwueze, who, let's be honest, is cheating a little bit. He's not tracking back Garcia, and he's left with that massive acres of space. And it's a good pass, and then a very good finish as well from Chukwueze.
Chance for Real Madrid to get back on level terms, though. Nico Paz needed a better delivery than that one. Inability to beat the first man, frustrating not only for him, for the coach, but for the centre-backs that have made the journey forward. Salamakers has got pace, but he was matched well. Quite the run from Mario Martin to get back there. Caracciano. Just a little lay off there again by Liberali. You could say won the ball Nico Paz, but he got a fair chunk of Ruben Loftus-Cheek as well. It's not until you're up close and personal with Ruben Loftus-Cheek you realise what a size of a human being he is.
He's a man mountain, he really is, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and he moves very, very well. He carries the ball really well. Haven't seen enough of him though. He hasn't really been dictating the tempo of the game in the middle of the park there for AC Milan. That's what you'd expect him to do. He needs to do better, he needs to be more influential. He's got to get on the ball more.
Madrid is the cry from the crowd, or the majority of them, certainly the vocal ones, looking for their side to get back into this game. Six changes at half-time and then one further after Cesar Palacios was hurt, replaced by Alvaro Rodriguez. A little bit sloppy there. Here's Calabria. Chukwueze wants and gets. He might go himself. Liberali cannot find the target. I just wonder if Chukwueze had that again, if he may have been a little bit more selfish. But I think it was the touch that took him a little bit too close and narrowed the angle that did for him.
Yeah, it was too tight for me, for Chukwueze to finish this, because you see the way he runs round the ball onto his left foot. If he was right-footed, he'd be striking that across goal with the right foot. Not confident with it, so he tries to return the favour to Liberali. And Liberali's always just leaning back a little bit. The ball's always rising.
Any tennis players among you, it's like running around the backhand because you're not confident hitting that to get that forehand that you feel far more comfortable. Like last night, Manchester City down in Orlando. Jack Grealish, previously on this tour, he's taken the touch after the work from Kovacic, and then he's cut back inside and he's looked for an option. Last night, he pulled the trigger. He scored the goal. He was more direct. And maybe when Chukwueze looks back on that, he'll say to himself, maybe I should have tried it.
Absolutely, you've got to have confidence in yourself, and you've got to have confidence in that right foot. You're a professional footballer, you're playing at the very highest level. Pull that trigger, go across goal, keep it hard and low, force a save from the goalkeeper.
We've got a big scoreboard in front of us in the stand that's obviously for the Chicago Bears, so we're in the second quarter. There'll be no timeouts remaining, and the score is visitors 0, home 1. Milan ahead. Real Madrid with a free kick in a dangerous area.
Yeah, this is how confident Nico Paz. Does he fancy firing it with that left foot?
I also wonder about Dani Ceballos here, because he's just seeing if the goalkeeper's trying to sneak too far wide. Ceballos leaves it. Nico Paz again doesn't beat the first man like his previous delivery.
It's got to be whipped at about 6'3", 6'4", just on goal. Far too easy, that low down for the players just to clear it. Just a swish of the left foot and cleared away.
Or as it's known, Ruben Loftus-Cheek height.
Yes.
Lunin. Strange pass that, because Salamakers have done really well to get tight on Lucas Vazquez. Came in last season, Andre Lunin, and did pretty well, 21 appearances, but look, he's not going to be the number one. That's Thibaut Courtois. The speculation about his future. Chelsea were linked with him, but they've signed Jurgensen from Villarreal, so it's up to him if he wants to be back up again or he wants to play first team football, because his resume from last season, there'll be a lot of interesting parties if he does move. Here's Liberali. Good game, the youngster. Chukwueze, seen far more of the ball in the second half. And he got the goal. Benacer, quiet. Salamakers. Smart from Benacer, because he just got his body in front of Mario Martin and he knew that any contact from Danny was going.
Well, absolutely that. You just see the way he just plays the ball with the outside of his left foot, takes it across the opposition player. Mario Martin obliges and brings him down. It's a clumsy foul, it's a needless foul.
Look at the clock just after the hour mark, so that means changes. So after this free kick, there are a number of Milan players getting ready to come onto the field to play, including Yunus Musa and Christian Pulisic. Similar distance from the one that Nico Paz has just had up the other end. By Benacer, good area! Flag stayed down, it would have counted if it had gone in the back of the net. Thiaw with the header. But it remains 1-0.
They got a little bit lucky, and that's probably a vast understatement. Did Real Madrid here. Should have been 2-0, Mark. And again, all down to that delivery. We talked about the poor delivery at the other end. This time the delivery is absolutely spot on. And Thiaw really should have done better.
So Kalulu's coming on. Former Real Madrid player Alex Jimenez is coming on. Luka Jovic is coming on. Yunus Musa and Christian Pulisic. They'll be the five. We will wait to find out who is being replaced. Here's Lucas Vazquez. Headed away by Tomori. Salamakers with a nice touch. So Christian Pulisic is going to get around about half an hour, just under that, which continues his aim to get fully fit for the start of the season. He joined the squad a little bit later. It's Vazquez. Well defended by Tomori, and there's the challenge and the foul by Lucas Vazquez, and time for change. And while the changes are being made, another look at this, Matt.
Yeah, the delivery from Benacer is absolutely magnificent. But Thiaw just heads it down too close to his own body almost. He's got to be heading that ball down, but it's got to bounce on the goal line and then up into the roof of the net. Really has to do better. Have to be hitting the target from a free header from no more than 5 yards out. And with that out swing from that delivery from Benacer, there's nothing the goalkeeper do. Lunin can't come for it. Should have been 2-0.
Great ovation for Christian Pulisic. So Nasti goes off, Liberali goes off, Calabria goes off, Loftus-Cheek goes off, and Terracciano goes off. So at left back, the former Real Madrid player, Alex Jimenez. Luka Jovic, who exchanged a nice embrace with Carlo Ancelotti before coming on. He's on the field to play. Benacer. Well, the first bit was nice from Musa. Nico Paz.
Yeah, it's all well and good getting the ooh from the crowd, then you've got to keep the ball.
That's a good defensive header. A little dinked pitching wedge was required, not a driven 5-iron.
And Carlo Ancelotti made sure he told his player exactly that. He was not happy down there, waving his arms vigorously, getting his point across. And you would hope that this evens the game up a little bit more from Real Madrid's point of view, because they've been put to the sword in the 20 minutes, 22 minutes we've had in this second half so far. Milan should find themselves 2-0 up. There's no doubt about that in my mind.
You're going to miss them pre-season. Don't miss them.
It's a valid point.
Well, you want to score them all the time, pre-season or not, but make sure you're ready for the first game. Real Madrid at Mallorca, Milan against Torino. 18th and 17th of August, respectively.
Yeah, well, let's credit Benacer with that delivery as well. Lovely weighted delivery into the penalty area, arcing away from Lunin so he couldn't come for it.
Bit of a bang to the head there for Thion.
Well, that was a no-nonsense punt upfield from Christian Pulisic.
An agricultural clearance, it was once described that, and I kind of thought, yeah, I'll take that.
I was going with punt here at Soldier Field, but either way.
Very good. Brahim Diaz with the layoff. Ceballos. The arm was outstretched, the referee's not interested. That'll be worth another look.
Yeah, now we may have to get into that discussion of the handball law. And also the fact, of course, there's no VAR. It's just an exhibition game, just pre-season. But it certainly looked as though it struck a hand to me.
Lucas Vazquez's starting position a good 10, 20 yards further up the field than we've seen so far in the second half. Okay, what do we got here? It's not for me from that angle. This angle might. Nope, no chance.
Be very, very difficult to give that. Of course, it does hit the arm, but the arm is by the side.
Yeah, it's in a natural position.
Yeah,
Plus, there's a deflection in close proximity. You're not getting that with or without VAR. But you appeal, because the problem is no one knows anymore what's given and what isn't as a handball. The problem is different leagues have a different height of bar that's acceptable for and not for a decision to be given as a penalty. Layoff from Alvaro Rodriguez. We're playing with a bit of pace here, Real Madrid, looking for the equaliser. Layoff from Lucas Vazquez. Great footwork. Little back heel from Dani Ceballos. Headed away by Tomori. Keeper thought about coming. Kalulu gets on the end of that one. All hands to the pump, and the defence for Milan to just get it clear. Chukwueze with the defensive block. They're turning the screw here, Real Madrid.
Yeah, the players have been playing together, haven't they? You can sense that now, the gelling, the cohesion, it's coming together. Add to that all the changes for AC Milan. It feels as though it's even things up now, Mark.
But on the counter, an opportunity for Milan. They've got a 3-on-2. It's Pierre Kalulu. Three now waiting in the middle. Jovic can't get there. The touch from Christian Pulisic. And that could easily have been a second, or at least an opportunity for Milan instead. Real Madrid get away with it, and it remains 1-0.
Well, it's a quick, swift and incisive break. It's a terrific long-busting run from Christian Pulisic, but he's intending to take that left-footed in his stride. He's trying to cushion that into his own path. He gets it wrong. It's very, very nearly a good bad one, because it nearly finds Jovic on the back post.
What's better, a good bad one or a bad good one?
Bad good one.
Lucas Vazquez again in an advanced role, has Nico Paz in support. It comes off Yunus Musa. Throw in for Real Madrid. Just under 20 minutes remaining. Down is player. Morning. Taking no chances in the technical area. Paulo Fonseca. Just wondering if there's an update. A potential change may be required. It might just be a little bone-to-bone contact that can be walked off. It's the sorest injury that you had that people wouldn't think would be a sore injury, but it really hurt.
The one that hurt the most was when my front teeth kicked out when I was 17 years of age, but you would assume that that would hurt. Broken noses are always very painful. Certainly the ones that you can see when you just see them arch in front of your eyes.
You know those little things you get, like a paper cut or the funny bone when you jar that? It's not funny at all. They seem innocuous at the time, but they really hurt. Tomori looks like he'll be fine.
Yeah,
the old 60-second hobble and then
I think you got it right. I think it was just a bone on bone, and just initially it feels a little bit sore, but he soon run it off, or he will soon run it off.
Good fighting from Jovic, Pulisic, Chukwueze, options. Christian Pulisic is denied by Lunin. It was a great run from the American to get in behind. But they're pushing forward. So many bodies, Real Madrid, that in transition they're leaving gaps at the back.
Yeah, and the counter-attack is on. You see again, it's another long-busting run from Pulisic. There's no way in the world that that's offside. That defensive line is so jagged, but then you see he snatches at the shot, almost hits the heel of the right boot. Just fancy him going with the laces of the right foot. Instead he goes with the inside of the right foot. Very much hits towards the back of the right foot. Comfortable save for Lunin. But certainly showing that willingness, hasn't he, Pulisic, to break into the penalty area. That's twice now in quick succession.
Going to get a whole host more of Milan changes. Making them a little bit later than Carlo Ancelotti did for Real Madrid. Brought on 6 at the half. Fran Garcia for Alvaro Rodriguez. This is Dani Ceballos. Lucas Vazquez is in acres of space on this near side, and finally someone, this time Alex Jimenez, is trying to stop him from getting the freedom of the right flank. 4 Milan changes to come, the next stoppage of play. But with Alex Jimenez going infield, Vazquez had the space to find Nico Paz. Good block by Alex Jimenez. Cost $5 million from Real Madrid back in March for the loan spell. Salaman. Christian Pulisic. Chukwueze was taken out off the ball by Raul Asensio. And now a little word for Raul Asensio. And if Milan wants, they'll get the chance to make the changes now. Adam Bakune is coming on. Tia Gabbia. Tommaso Pobega. While these changes are being made, there's a hydration break, and it gives us an opportunity to rewind the clock back to the 55th minute.
Well, it's all about giving the ball away in an important area of the pitch. Fran Garcia plays the ball inside and goes for that run, and he's the one that leaves that massive gap. The ball's given away. Terrific weight of pass from Liberali here. And Lunin offers up far too much space at the near post. You see that strength there from Liberali, holding off the man, but passing the ball with that perfect weight. And Lunin, far too big a gap at the near post. And Chukwueze finishes with aplomb. Delighted for Chukwueze. He's flitted in and out of this game a little bit as Chukwueze. Same as Salamakers on the other side. You do tend to expect that from wide players. Chukwueze, though, has been rewarded with his endeavour with that goal. Possibly could have had another much earlier on in this game as well.
So while the hydration break is taking place, we can tell you that Samuel Chukwueze, Alexis Salamakers, Ismail Benacer and Malik Tial are being replaced. On is coming Tommaso Pobega, Mattia Gabbia, Ugo Cuenca and Adam Bakune. There's a whole team behind the scenes, Ken and the boys and girls in the truck that are on this. Nothing gets by them. They know.
Anything that gets by us doesn't get by them.
Exactly. The announcement being made right now is confirmation that tonight is a sellout. It just took a while for some to get here. 61,568. A total sellout at Soldier Field, as it will be when the Bears play here in the National Football League, which returns tomorrow for pre-season. When you see your favorite player for 3 snaps and your $150 ticket, which you're forced to buy because of your season tickets, ensures you get to see some of the 3rd and 4th strings. But again, there's a reason this is sold out, and there's a reason for these fans who've come here that know there's going to be a lot of changes, but they get to see the stars of today. But some of them don't realise it right now. They're seeing the stars of tomorrow.
Absolutely, and I can guarantee that there will be 1 or 2 stars of tomorrow out there, if not more as well.
It's guessing who they are right now.
Yeah.
It's identifying
I'm not that good.
It's identifying the Beatles before they became what they ended up. Yeah, if you knew that, you'd either be a football manager or you'd be the best scout in the world, being paid a fortune, not sitting beside me in a booth.
Yeah, look, when you're at clubs like Real Madrid or AC Milan as well, you have the luxury of buying up a whole host of young talent and producing some as well, and it doesn't matter if 1 or 2 fail.
Lucas Vazquez, oohs in the eyes from the crowd as they saw a lot of space in front of them, but Milan were quick to narrow down the angle. Alex Jimenez is now playing in front of Adam Bakune. Pulisic, space down the right-hand side for Ugo Cuenca. He's a big boy to get it over, Juan Martinez. Behind it goes with no harm. Just over 10 minutes remaining. Milan still with that 1-0 lead given to them by Samuel Chukwueze, who was replaced a few minutes ago.
I thought he had a decent game, Chukwueze. Obviously the goal, not just the goal, but did flit in and out of the game a little bit too much.
Once again, Lucas Vazquez is in acres of space down this right-hand side. And can't control.
No, he's got an engine though, hasn't he? Vazquez, 33 years of age. He is up and down. Maybe the first pre-season game for Real Madrid, but he has put a shift in, and that is a massive understatement. He's been very impressive as Vazquez.
16 changes and counting. Wide by Musa. Hugo Cuenca. Pulisic and Pobega furthest forward in support. Here is Christian Pulisic, not the best pass back to where it came from in the American. That's what you do if you've not played the best ball or you've made a mistake. You win it back and Milan get the free kick, which wouldn't have been possible if Pulisic hadn't done it.
You rectify your mistakes, and boy did he do that, Christian Pulisic, because you're absolutely right. He made a real pig's ear of that 1-2. Cuenca looks a very, very talented boy and a confident boy on that far side as well. Very tall for a winger, but he glides across the surface really nicely. He offered up that 1-2 with Pulisic. Pulisic kind of stabbed at the ball, got too much air underneath it. But then, as you say, the important bit is he rectified the mistake, Mark.
Yeah, a lot of these players are going to get some competitive opportunities this year as part of the Milan Futuro side. That's basically a fancy name for the reserves, but they'll play in Serie C, the third tier. They'll play against decent enough opposition, but competitive games. Yunus Musa. Jovic. Cuenca. Sloppy. Now, a chance for Real Madrid. Great run. And a super save to deny Alvaro Rodriguez. That was the chance, and he's got his head in his hands. He knows it. That might appear in some recurring nightmares this evening if he ever does get to sleep. Get the head down, get in the box, try and do it again. It's a free kick. Flag from Artyom Rustamian on this near side to let the referee have a little push on Fikayo Tomori.
And Tomori was just shouting at Hugo. Hugo, Hugo, he shouted because Cuenca gave this ball away and he should have been punished, but Torriani does really well. Absolutely lightning fast over the first 2-3 yards off his line there. Torriani came out and smothered. Just been talking about how confident Hugo Cuenca is, the right winger for AC Milan, and he was a little bit overconfident and gave the ball away.
Yunus Musa. Should be fairly easy for all these fans to get back to where they came from after the game. It's not like there was loads of traffic beforehand, and 61,568 trying to make their way home. The Lollapalooza crowds heading to Chicago as well. They've had a good night. Here's Pulisic. Are there more goals in this one? Alex Jimenez tries to go himself. Everybody leaves it for everybody else, and it's played over the bar by Hugo Cuenca.
But gets it wrong again, does Cuenca. Look at the way he covers the ground here, though, Jimenez. But it's a top quality challenge from Martinez, the 16-year-old. Those long levers, the outstretched right leg, he had to get it absolutely spot on, and he did.
Long levers, I've never heard them called that before. Kind of like it. Good challenge in midfield on Lucas Vazquez. Right. There's Musa. Boring. Pobega. Strong challenge on Bakune. No foul. And away goes Alvaro Rodriguez. Advantage played by the referee. Juan Milataza with the layoff. Is this the opportunity for Real Madrid? The deflection, there'll be a card for the challenge in the build-up. Good officiating, but Real Madrid had the chance to get back on level terms. Instead, they end up with the corner.
Yeah, and they would much have preferred the goal. Brilliant refereeing from Rubiel Vazquez. And a great run from Fan Garcia. Just that first touch gets a little bit stuck underneath his feet. He wants it out of his feet so then he can shoot. There is that challenge, it's a poor challenge.
Kind of reminiscent of 70 minutes or so at Wembley when it was goalless Champions League final against Borussia Dortmund, 1st of June. Crowd urging their team forward to get that goal. Corner kick. Another change now. This kid is a talent. He's 16 years old. And without being prompted, Carlo Ancelotti, pre-game, was speaking about Francesco Camarda. He became the youngest player in Serie A last November when he came on as a sub for Luka Jovic against Fiorentina. What were you doing when you were 15 years and 260 days old?
I probably can't say it live on air.
Delivering newspapers
or
that
studying.
I was doing,
yeah. It's definitely delivering newspapers.
Yeah.
And many of them, and everybody seems to have the Sunday Times. Not Monday to Saturday, obviously.
So the position taken up by Francesco Camarda is kind of the number 10 role. He's playing between Christian Pulisic and Hugo Cuenca. He'll drift to the right-hand side as well.
Well, it may only be pre-season, but you want to win. You want to win every single game you play, and whether it's five-a-side in training, whether it's a pre-season game, or whether it's a World Cup final, you want to win absolutely everything. So credit AC Milan here, trying to keep the ball. Only a couple of minutes left, Mark.
And they're looking for a second goal with Alex Jimenez. Christian Pulisic, his favourite right. There's a problem here for Alvaro Rodriguez at the other end. It's going to require a change for Real Madrid. We're going to bring on Jeremy de Leon. Man of the match today is the goal scorer. He's on the bench now getting a well-earned rest. As it stands, it's the winning goal. There is still time for Real Madrid to do something about that. So the sub being subbed, Alvaro Rodriguez. We'll want to see that. Speaking about the young talent, Francesco Camarda for Milan. This is a young lad, a Puerto Rican, who a lot of people thought was the first ever Puerto Rican to play for Real Madrid. But that's what Google's for. Taking you back to 1926 and 1927. Eduardo Ordóñez was the first. So Jeremy de Leon, 20-year-old Real Madrid Castilla, comes on for the last few minutes of this one, and immediately trying to challenge for possession. Took a sore one there as he went to ground. Back on his feet. Yunus Musa. What's happening here? It's the 90th minute. Let's not have these challenges that might hurt players. If you're not going to do it in the first 89, don't try it now, Juan Mila Tassa.
No, it wasn't clumsy, it wasn't rugged, it was
needless.
A little bit naughty, and certainly, yes, very needless.
3 added minutes at the end of this one. More like it after a 3-minute hydration break. Even I can do the math in that one. Luka Jovic trying to buy the foul. Paulo Fonseca thought it was. There was certainly contact, but the referee not interested. Real Madrid have got just under 3 minutes to try and get on level terms and force penalties. Great footwork, Nico Paz. The pass not great and well read. Had to be as well by Alex Jimenez. Just mopped up at left back. He had gone forward when Adam Bakuni came on. Here he is, Marda, the layoff.
A couple of fleeting glimpses of Kamada. He looks confident in possession. He's a big, strong boy as well. He held off the player very well too. Kept possession and got the free kick. So he's in intriguing to see how players who are highly touted at tender ages of 15, 16, 17, see how they develop with the world watching on.
Yeah, he joined up with the camp a little bit later, along with Noah Okafor and Kevin Ziroli. Still to be integrated into the side, Rafa Leao, Theo Hernandez, Mike Maignan and Gianni Reinders. Milan trying to defend and keep this clean sheet, and that was a good tackle. Still down is Juanmi Lataza. The time that's elapsed, the referee ain't going back for the free kick. He's given one there. That was a rascal of a challenge on Christian Pulisic, and needless.
Another one, another needless when you get nowhere near the ball here.
Goodness me.
He's committing really early. Pulisic sees him coming as well, just touches it past him, but he can't quite jump over Martinez. Okay, as you say, the rash challenges have all been coming in the additional time.
Just as well, there was no contact first time round there, the high boot of Juan Martinez. Alvaro Morata's the other one for Milan, who will join up with the squad on the 10th of August. Before Milan face Torino. Jeremy De Leon trying to keep possession as far away as possible from Mattia Gabbia. Taken away by Nico Paz. The good numbers forward here. The layup's a good one by Camarda. Christian Pulisic. Great experience. Free kick awarded, but that'll do. The 3 minutes has come and gone. A really good workout. And Milan and Paulo Fonseca get the win. Another one in the United States to follow up their victory over Manchester City. Deserved for you?
Yeah, I think so. I think AC Milan deserved the win. I think it could have been 2 or 3-0 at the end of this game. But let's not forget, this is Real Madrid's first pre-season friendly, AC Milan's third. So we probably should expect it.
A lot of changes in this one, but in the end, the one goal was enough. Chukwueze from Mattia Liberali's pass. The 17-year-old was excellent tonight, and in the 55th minute, he fired beyond the replacement goalkeeper Andre Lunin for the only goal of the game. Man of the match for Chukwueze. A very worthwhile exercise in front of a sellout crowd of 61,568. Next up for Real Madrid, it's the Clásico on Saturday in New Jersey. And for Milan, it's Barcelona next Tuesday in Baltimore. Bye for now.